Hello everyone. Before beginning our lesson, I will introduce myself. My name is Dilfuza and surname is Ruziyeva. I work in Bucharest State of University in the Faculty of Foreign Language and in the Department Foreign Language in the Natural Science. The theme of our lesson is grammar theme is modals and semi-modal. It means that modal verbs. What are they? There are shown a lot of modal verbs. The type of the modal verbs. First one is shall, may, might, should, can, will, would, must, ought to, have got to. We use modal verbs to talk about an ability, a duty, a need, a necessity, wanting. It's the meaning of the modal verbs. And modals. How do you see? What is the modals? What is special about them? Modal verbs behave very differently from normal verbs. Here are some important differences. We know that in the sentence, if we make the sentence, we should first put first the main verb and then the modal verbs. Modal verbs added the main verbs a special meaning. How? Modal verbs are always followed by a verb in its base form. For example, he can speak Chinese. Compare I speak Chinese and he speaks Chinese. And I speak and he speaks. There are no non-modal verbs. In this sentence, there are not any modal verbs. The next sentence, you may take the book to the school. She may take the book to the school. If we compare the simple sentence with the modal verb sentence, the next sentence, you take the books to the school, you take the books to school. If I translate in Uzbek, it will be something. So how? The next one is a modal verb don't take, apostrophe s in the third person. In the third person simple. It means the third person it didn't s. Example: he speaks Chinese. In simple sentence, he speaks Chinese, and with the modal verb sentence, he can speak Chinese. Not he can, not he can speaks. It needn't he can speak Chinese. The next sentence: he eats a sandwich at 9:30. And if you make the sentence with the modal verbs, she may eat a sandwich at 9:30. We needn't the third of gender with the s, ending of s. And how you use not to make modal verbs negative, even in the simple present and simple past. We don't use the helping verb do. Example: he should not be late. We use it here, the not, only the simple sentence, and with the modal verb sentence, they might not come to the party. Compare. If we compare with these words, with this sentence: I don't like to be late. I cannot eat any more cakes. I don't eat carrots cakes. And the fourth rule is many modal verbs cannot be used in the past tense or future tense. For example, he can go with us. It is a wrong sentence. Modal verbs and their substitutions. Many modal verbs cannot be used in all of the English tenses. That's why we need to know their meaning and substance for these modal verbs. And here shown in future simple tense and will not, and won't. We use these modal verbs to speak about future action that we are sure, convinced about. And will not, the shortage is won't. For example, today is Tuesday, tomorrow will be Wednesday. Bugun seshanba, ertaga chorshanba bo'ladi. The future simple modal verbs. I know it because this is a known fact. We will not be in the office tomorrow. I know it because he is going on vacation. Can and could be, the equivalent is the modal verbs can and could be equivalent is able to be able to. We use this modals to express general ability, disability, possibility, impossibility, opportunity, permission, and request. This is all of them, the meaning of the can and could and be able to. And can, for example, I can walk. I have some free time. I can help her now. I have the opportunity to help her. The meaning of this sentence. I can't help her now because I don't have any time. I don't have the opportunity to help her. Can and could. In the past, we use the can in the present simple, and in the past and in the future we use the could. Can change to could. He could speak only Hebrew when he was a kid. This is a past simple tense sentence. He couldn't speak to his neighbor who speak only English. General ability. Practice time can and could. And the next modal verb is a may. Future possibility, get permission. First meaning is a future possibility, and the next is a get permission. For example, may I come in? If you ask from to enter the room, you will ask with a may. I may choose to wear the red dress to the party. I have two dresses. There is a chance that I will choose to wear the red dress and not blue one. Today he may come on time. Also, usually he comes late. There is possibility that today he will come on time. May I come to visit you at 5 o'clock? This is a sentence, interrogative sentence. I want, and might is the meaning of the might is a possibility. Might. We may come on time, but if you miss the bus, we might be late. This is a sentence. The next one is a should modal verb. Should, the meaning of the should is advice or strong suggestion. For example, if you want to be champion, you should practice every day. You don't have practice, but then you will not get better. Next example, when you make a cheese cake, you should first check that you have cheese, or else it will not be cheesecake. Must and mustn't. This is also modal verbs. Must, very strong advice and obligation, and mustn't is the negative form, things you are not allowed to do. For example, she's sick. She has high fever. She must take a pill. It means that a very strong advice, obligation. Next, you mustn't ride your bike without helmet. It means that you are not allowed to do. Semi-modals, and now I will explain the semi-modals. Have to, has to, had to, will have to. These are semi-modals. It is a necessary, shows obligation and giving advice. Have to, has to. In the present, near the future. Have to in the past, will have to in the future tense. For example, I have to clean my room. My mother forces me to do it. So next example, she has to finish the test before bell rings. After the bell rings, you can go answering the question, the meaning of this sentence. J. Don't. The next semi-modal is don't have to and doesn't have to. For example, don't have to, doesn't have to. It is necessary. And next semi-modal is ought to, be supposed to, be allowed to. For example, ought to. The meaning is supposed to, we expect him or to. Be allowed to, permission someone will let, permitted him to do it. That is a great movie. You ought to see it. Meaning is you must see it. Next example, the teacher is supposed to base the grades on the tests and assignments. On Friday, the students in our school don't have to wear the school uniform. They are allowed to wear any color they want. They are permitted to. They can even wear a pink shirt with yellow stripes. And the next modal verbs is able to. Able to is shown an ability. For example, I don't know when I will be ready. I will be able to give you an answer later. Negative contraction, short form. Modal verbs and their substitution. Many modal verbs cannot be used in all the English tenses. And that's why we need to know their meaning and substitute for these modal verbs. Practice time. Now, student, you should to exercise on modal verbs and their substitutes. And exercise modal verbs substitute. You should to make the sentence about all of the modal verbs, semi-modal verbs. For example, may, must, should, and need. In semi-modal verbs, have to, need to, should to, ought to. You should to make the sentence all of these modal verbs. So, dear students, this was all about the modal verbs, and our lesson is over. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.